Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Chris, here with reviews on Middlewest #1 and #2. So I saw just some guy did a video on this, and Tahilem did a article on this on Middlewest and how they were both impressed with this story, and Tahilem gave him almost 10 out of 10s. It was some 9s, some 8s out of 10s, and just some guy was saying this is the best comic of the year. So I was curious. I was curious about this. Is this really the best comic of the year? It's like, okay, I have to read it for myself. I want to read good comics, and if this is good, I want to check it out. So 100%, I wouldn't say it's the best comic of the year, but it's definitely one of. It is a very, very good series. Started off strong. So we start off with the first issue of Middlewest. I really like this cover because from what I've seen of the two covers so far, they perfectly portray kind of what's in this book. It's not like a false cover or just like a random variant that has nothing to do with what's inside. The content inside. The covers on these definitely portray what is going on, what is actually happening inside what we're going to read right now. So in the first issue, starting it off, we follow Abel living in this place called Middlewest, and it kind of seems like it's a mix of like reality, maybe fantasy, because it seems to take place in like a kind of rural area. This just seems to be normal, but of course there's a talking fox. There's all these weird pink canisters, and then later on his dad turns into a giant freaking tornado monster. I really love the art on this. Definitely, this page is just amazing. The whole just lead up to him turning into a giant tornado monster. Perfect, amazing. The art in this, so we'll go with the creative team. The writer is Scotty Young, art by Jorge Corona, and colors by get ready for Oz Chris to butcher another name again. Jean-Francois Beaulieu, blah, 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 blah. Jean. I would say Jean. Jean. Let's say Jean. It seems French, so we'll go Jean. So, but those three people, the artists Jorge and Jean do a great job with the art and the coloring in this book. And Scotty Young, I'm not familiar with Scotty Young's writing. I think he does Deadpool, which I don't read because I'm just kind of sick of Deadpool. I like Deadpool, but that huge oversaturation of Deadpool just killed it for me. It's like, okay, I'm not going to bother with Deadpool for now. But I am familiar with his artwork. He usually does like kind of like almost chibi like covers for Marvel. Sometimes they're the same price, sometimes they're overpriced. That's what I'm familiar with Scotty Young with. But from Middlewest, this being his first kind of first series that he's written that I have read, I really enjoyed it. It has from the first issue, it has what you need. It gives you gives you a basic premise and a mystery, and it wants you to keep coming back for more. It leaves you with all these questions that you need answers to. It's like, this seems like a normal place, but there's the whole pink canisters, there's a talking fox. Why does his dad suddenly just turn into a tornado monster? I need answers for this. And that's with a lot of comics going just for trades now, so like 5 to 7 issues. That's what you really need for, at least for a first issue. It wants you to keep reading more, to buying more of these issues, and Middlewest #1 does this perfectly. It grabs you, it takes you in, and you just want to continue. So, and from Scotty's writing, he does something well, and also that Jorge and Jean do as well with the art and coloring, is portraying emotion. Like, a lot of writers nowadays have to describe how a character is feeling, or have a character describe what another character is feeling. So in this part, Abel, Abel was stupid enough to listen to his friends and try to steal something from a store. They get in trouble and he has to wait for his dad to pick him up. And from the get-go, when we're introduced to his dad doesn't like Abel. It just seems like he hates him, just absolutely hates his existence. And so when he picks him up, it's dark, it's night already. He just doesn't even look at him. He says, "Get in the truck." Going off, Abel says, "Dad, he's going to say, I'm sorry," but the dad just stares at him angrily. Abel's upset about this, and this kind of continues on later on. They arrive back home, get out of the car. He doesn't even acknowledge his son until his son tries to get into the house to go to sleep, to go to bed, pretty much. So this perfectly portrays the kind of emotions that's going on in that scene. Now, a writer like, I don't know, Marvel, sometimes they'd just be like, this happened, these two scenes would happen, and then there'll probably a dialogue box saying like, it's like, yep, he's angry with me again, or he's disappointed. Although with this, you can tell he's not disappointed. From what we've seen of the father, it's not a look of, son, I know you could do better. Why did you do something stupid? I'm disappointed with you. It's more of a, I'm freaking angry with you right now, and I would not hesitate to beat the shit out of you. Because he told his son, you're late for your job, do your job, then come back home immediately, don't do anything else. Abel didn't do his job, and he went to go hang out with his friends. So he's not disappointed, he's angry at the fact that he did not do what he was ordered to do. So that leads to the whole, them getting into an argument. Like I said, like the artists in this perfectly do a very good job of portraying emotion. So going from just intimidating to just yelling at him perfectly portrays those emotions. So that was the first issue. That definitely hooked me into the series. So on to the second one, issue number 2. So we're introduced slightly more of this world. It still keeps you, you only get more questions, you don't really get more answers. It's only the second issue. I very much doubt we're going to get all the answers in the second issue. So Abel is, after escaping from angry tornado dad, Abel hitches a ride on a train, and he's found by two cannibals, bird-like cannibals. One very obviously bird-like. They escape and they meet, not escape, they get help from this old man called the Wizard, who attacks them and takes them back to his kind of like junkyard place. It's just, the whole place is kind of just made up from different bits and pieces. So slightly exploring a little bit more of the world. It's not just that whole rural town area. There's a bit more kind of fantasy to it. And let's see. We learn a bit more about this heart-shaped symbol that Abel gets after he's stabbed by angry tornado dad, and he wants to try and get it fixed, but apparently it can't be fixed, and it seems to appear whenever he's angry, and he just doesn't listen. As he just goes off at him. He's like, "You're a crazy old man. You've been acting like some kind of wizard since I met you. So let's see some magic now." And Abel, you have to calm down your chest. It's getting worse. Well, as the fox says, and with the wizard replying, "Your friend is right. You must still yourself. This isn't on the surface. It's inside you, and it's too deep for my remedies. Sadly, this is one of the times I cannot provide the thing the traveler needs." And that leads to them to leaving and trying to find someone else that could possibly give them answers. There's a woman called Magdalena who the wizard mentions while talking to his own talking animal, a pet crow. And I'll leave it there for issue number 2. So if you haven't already, definitely pick up Middlewest. It is a great start to a series. I've been enjoying issue number 1 and issue number 2 so much. So that is all. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.
今もかも振り切って未来へ進め Speed away